What's up, world? It's your boy AJ the Blackwood Traveler, and today's video is about I never argue with women. I do not argue with women. That's one of my things that I don't do. And before I start this video, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, share it if you like to. Also hit the notification button so you can be notified when I do new videos. So today's video is about me basically explaining why I don't argue with women. Number one, it's not I don't think that you should argue with anybody. I have a problem with tones. I have a problem with argument. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with getting upset. There's no reason to argue with anybody. If you are in a relationship, this is my personal preference. I never argue with women. I don't feel a man should argue with a woman. If a man has to argue with a woman, he needs to leave that woman alone. And the reason why is because it's not a masculine thing, number one. And if you have to get to the point where you have to raise your voice to somebody, it's better to leave that relationship alone because it's going to become violent, or it's not going to be a good relationship. I've had several incidences where I've dated women and they pick fights and keep picking fights and keep picking fights. And I'm not a kind of person that argues. And it seems like, since I'm not a guy that argues, it seems like they try to pick a fight to get me upset. And a lot of them do. I really feel a lot of them would try to pick a fight on purpose because they think, oh yeah, this dude is weak, he's soft. And they get me mistaken as being soft. I'm nowhere near soft, baby girl. But the problem is that a lot of women would take you as being soft because you won't argue. I'll tell you some scenarios I had. When I was younger, I dated this girl. It was in 1994 when I was 1995. Just got out of the military, and I was dating this Panamanian chick. And every time we got together, she would just pick fights, pick arguments, start raising her voice and doing her hands certain ways, and she would pick fights. And one time she called me. It was back in the days, when you didn't have cell phones, you had to have pagers. And it was like 1995. She hits me up, hey, I'm at the club, you can pick me up. Now, mind you, I'm in Oakland. No, she was in Berkeley. I was living in San Leandro at the time. It's a 30-minute drive. It's like 30 miles from each other. So she calls me, can you pick me up? I'm at the club with my friends. And I'm like, okay, so I get up out the bed. So I drive out to Berkeley. Of course, back then you couldn't pick up the cell phone. You had to go to a payphone. She paged you. I couldn't find her, so I had to go to a payphone, page her from a payphone, wait at the payphone for her to call me back and say, hey, I'm over here. So I finally find her. She's like, why you take so long? She's yelling at me. I'm like, yo, chill out. You just called me out of my sleep, We were dating for like a month. And then she's just keep going on and on, yelling at me and stuff. I'm like, yo, you need to lower your tone of your voice. And she just kept nagging me. And it's like, dude, I was asleep when you called me. Yeah, but you took forever, I'm a woman. She just yelling at me. And I lost it. And we dated for like a good month, but every time I got with it, it was confrontation. That particular night, I was already tired, I was irritable. She kept arguing like probably at least 10, 15 minutes in a ride of just getting out of Berkeley. Cause we had, hit lights and stuff to get on the freeway. I mean, I lost it. Because every time I talk with her, she's always arguing. This day, I just like, shut the fuck up. I went off. I was like, I'm tired of your mouth. Like every time, nothing's ever right. And I just told her, man, shut the fuck up. And I was going off on her. I was hitting the steering wheel and she got scared. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing else to me. Like, I'm tired of your mouth. Like, every time you're with you, you always got a reason to pick a fight. I was like, shut up, all the way home. She didn't say nothing. She was sitting there quiet. Like, that's the first time she was actually not argumentative. And it was like, this woman has a problem. It took me to get to that level for her to feel some kind of respect. Because I never was the kind of guy that would yell, I don't believe in that. But when a woman pushed me to that limit where I have to yell at you, and cuss at you, you're done. And that's the last time I saw her that night. I said, I can't deal with nobody like you because you're too argumentative. Like, you don't know how to have peace. It seems like a lot of black women don't know how to have peace and happiness. It seems like if if a lot of them don't have drama going on or some kind of crap going on, they're not happy. I've seen when I lived overseas, in Japan for the first 2 years out of high school. When I dated women in Asia, because I was in Asia for 2 years, black women would make comments about, oh yeah, back then they were making comments about, brothers being back Asian women. You got to realize, if you're living in a place with all Asian women, there's no black women, you're going to date Asian women. This is what's going to happen. I was in Asia for 2 years, so if you're going to Thailand and I live in Japan and you live in the Philippines, 9 times out of 10, you're going to date those women because those are the only women that are available. There's no black women. What I will say about this, I've never argued with a Filipino woman dating her. I never argued with a Japanese girl. I never had to raise a voice at them. Y'all don't understand how traumatic that is. When it's traumatic when you have to argue with your own women, and then when you don't want to argue with them, they get more upset because you don't want to argue with them. That's a sickness. And look how the passport bro is. I'm not a passport bro in particular, but just look at the brothers that took their passports to go to another country and date women that are a lot more, easier to get along with and more happier. It's like nothing makes y'all happy. Like y'all are mad, when we're here, we don't want to meet your, outrageous demands of what you want in a man. We go to another country, date a woman in another country. You don't see no dudes getting upset and mad about, going overseas. I mean, everybody has their different, reason why they go. Me personally, I never just, I like culture. I like to learn. So I've always been more interested in learning the culture. I mean, the women come with it, don't get me wrong, but I was never that dude that traveled abroad just for the women. I know that the women were included in the equation because whenever you travel somewhere, especially me being a single man, if I'm single, I'm going to date the women there. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love women. And if I'm single, I'm gonna date women over there. And there's nothing wrong with that. And what happens between me and that woman happens between me and that woman. The thing is, it seems like black women are never satisfied. Y'all never happy. Y'all never happy about nobody. I mean, you seeing brothers, it's crazy when we see sisters go overseas, and this is way back in the days, to all the way now. And never we seen black women go overseas because they didn't like what they were getting in the States and they would marry foreign men. And you ask any brother, man, you think about her dating that white dude or dating that Asian dude, she like, shit, as long as she happy. We always said that. I live in Arizona, and I was in Tempe, Arizona one day, and his sister walked by with his brother. His sister walked by with this white guy. And then we were like, okay, and I said, man, I asked brother, asked all the brothers at the table, because I said, what you feel about, sisters dating white guys or guys that's not black? He's like, shit, as long as she's happy. I said, I'm the same way. I said, as long as she's happy, I'm the same way, man. As long as she's happy, it's like good, because I want to see y'all happy. I'd rather you be with somebody that treats you like you want to be treated, because, to be real, man, back in the days, what women want to admit, a lot of, back in the days, most young women dated men that either so dope, they were attracted to those men that was gang banging. They was attracted to the dudes that was, the bad boy, the tough guy. Just a lot of women were attracted to that. Not all, but a lot were. Especially girls from the suburbs, man. More girls from the suburbs were more interested into the bad boys than girls from the ghetto. Most girls from the ghetto, a lot of girls from the ghetto weren't even attracted to a lot of the ghetto dudes, because when you live in that environment and you seeing your cousins or your uncles beat on their women, some women got turned off by that. Not saying all men beat their women, but when you live in the ghetto, you see more domestic violence. You see more of the violence and a lot of the problems in the black community when you live, in the ghettos. It's like you live in a trailer park, you live in the barrio, whenever you live in a poor environment, you're gonna see a lot more infidelity in the community, because that's what happens when people are in poor environments. Even in more wealthy environments, the same thing happens. You see, there's always a thing of status. There's people who have more money, less money. It's just part of human nature. The thing about it is that, the true thing is that even though some girls are raised, in a nice home with, with wealthy family and a nice, what you consider the typical like the perfect home with the mother and father and the big house and the picket fence. I mean, a lot of women come from the community still attracted to the bad boys. sometimes you wonder, why did this pretty girl, be in the hood? These are the times back in the days, man, you would see these girls from the suburbs, pretty suburb girls, that's straight, L7 square, man. They'll be, with the most gangsters, gangbanger boyfriend, because back then they were they were attracted to what they couldn't get their hands on. And the dad's telling you get education, get a good man, don't be with a guy like that. Sometimes you were more curious. Same like guys in the ghetto. You see guys in the ghetto, they try to get at the girls from the suburbs. So it was an exchange thing where same thing. A lot of guys from the hood attracted to women who got money. And a lot of them dudes, believe it or not, man, a lot of them dudes in the hood got mouthpieces because they were raised around pimps. They was raised around hustlers. They was raised around scammers. So, they was raised around dudes who just had game. Like when you in the hood, man, you usually have a lot more game because that comes part of it. But, the thing about it, it was always easier to talk to somebody that wasn't from your area because, if you're a guy raised up in the ghetto and all you knew was the girls in your hood, you knew how to talk to them already. So that's why I'm saying with black women, have you guys ever had happiness? Like, as a black woman, have you ever just been with somebody that treated you nice, that was good to you, and you liked them? Because a lot of women seem like when they were with the good guys and the nice guys, oh, you were too nice, and I was always the guy they said was too nice. Because I'm not a violent dude. I'm not a dude that raised my voice. That's why I said I don't argue with women. I never have. Every time I have been in relationships and I had to argue with women, it just doesn't go anywhere. And a lot of times, man, men had homegirls. A lot of times, those dudes got beautiful homegirls that you never dated, right? And the reason why we never dated our beautiful homegirls, a lot of times they like, oh yeah, you like my brother. I wouldn't date you because you're not the kind of guy I like. Even if he was a height or the physique or whatever, if he's a nice guy, whenever he was a nice guy sometimes, a lot of times women wouldn't be attracted to him. There's women out there that got men as their best friends. That's a great guy, and they never date him. And then they'll see that guy go through, different relationships and stuff. And same as that woman, she might have a good friend that's attractive, and he'd be her male friend, and they're best friends, right? And the whole time, the other women would come around her and be like, damn, who was that? Oh, that's my friend. You ain't dating him? Like, no, this is just the homie, So a lot of times they feel Muslim, shoot, hook me up with him. I want to meet him. That's how I met my last girlfriend. I met my homegirl at I met my last ex-girlfriend at my homegirl's birthday party. She was like, who was that guy? Who's the guy that's doing the filming? And we dated for 3 years. Same thing, bro. The problem is always this. With black women, once you get comfortable with them, my mouth gets slick. Every single woman that I've dated, once I started dating them, and they were black women, their mouth gets slick. They get comfortable. And I tell my ex-girlfriend, I was like, see, y'all keep reading me wrong. I said, I do everything for it. Look, I was with this girl for 3 years on and off, right? And it got so bad to where we dated for like 1 year straight. And the work that I put in with her, the reason why we never was official for a while, because she wouldn't support me while we were knowing each other. So every time she had an event, she was an artist. Every time she had an event, I go to art exhibit. Okay, what time is the exhibit? Oh, it's this time. So when she had her thing, I show up at her house, help her load her art to her car, take her to her event, help her set it up, And I would, at the event, she's in an event showing her art. I'm pulling people over there, hey man, check out my girlfriend, this is her art. I would show her how to sell stuff. I was doing all this stuff when I was with her. Then it was crazy about it when she would get home, like sometimes she was working, she'd be tired. She was working and going to school at one time when we first met. And I used to leave my place and go to her house and make sure that she was good. Like, she'd be so tired, I would go in there and cook for her. I made sure she had food. If she was really tired, I'll wash her clothes for her, just to let her know, hey man, you ain't got to worry about it. I know you're tired, you're trying to get your education. If she was doing a test on her in school, I would get the cue cards and test her on the cue cards and go through the testing with her. I don't know, man, I was always made like that. My parents were a group, like my parents worked as a team. So I saw that. And on top of that, I just always had that thing of being a team. My best friends or anybody I'm cool with, I always was about supporting the friends, your homies, you support your girlfriend, whatever. But she didn't get it. And then sometimes she's just like, then I asked her one day, man, why every time when I have something going on, you never come to her? Well, if you were my man, I would do it. I said, well, I thought I was your man. Well, technically you're not my man. You never asked me to be your woman. I said, well, I got to ask you. I said, I didn't ask you because I noticed that when you do things, or you do your events, I show up. Well, every time I have something, you turn it down. I said, yeah, that's the reason why I keep you where I keep you, because you don't support what I do, but I support what you do. I said, that's why I never asked you to be my woman, because I like you. Yeah, we have great sex. We have good communication. I said, two things you do wrong. You get comfortable. Every once in a while, almost every month, especially around your period, you get to talking to me crazy, and I leave, and you get mad why I leave. And she kept saying, every time we would get in some kind of dispute, she would just pick a fight. We'd be having a good time and pick a fight. She says, like, if you were my man, I would do this or whatever. And then she started talking to me crazy, raising up. I said, watch your tone of voice. What do you mean? I said, watch your tone of voice. Because I don't argue. I do not argue. So and then she'll start talking to me crazy, raising her voice, and I'll grab my keys. Well, she's like, where you going? Man, I don't let you talk to me like that. I'll leave. I did it every time. And then one time she finally said, you know what? Maybe I should just shut up. I said, yeah, you should. Because every time we get into some kind of discussion, you can't have your way, or you feel you want to be confrontational, you want to raise your voice at me. I don't like nobody raising their voice at me. I said, I don't like that. I'm not attracted to a woman raising their voice at me. And that's the reason why I'm the way I am. I do not argue with women. And every woman that I dated, I've been back in the United States since 1992. I've only had like one relationship here because, like I said, all the women I met, either they were like, if I met women that were single, that didn't have any kids, their standards were so high. And I was still trying to figure life out. I was still working 2 jobs and trying to figure it out, but it was never enough for them. So when I ended up leaving and moving to Australia in 2000, it was easier. Women were just a lot more easier to talk to. I really didn't sort my options like I do now. And when I got married to my ex-wife there, she was worse than the women here, because she was a black woman too, but she just had all these crazy demands. And then after we got married, though, before we got married, it was cool. Once we got married, she's just like, I was working my butt off. It's just never enough. She always wanted to argue. I kept telling her, I don't argue with women. I've never raised my voice at her. And one day she kept nagging me, and I went off in the car like, man, I'm tired of you. Like, shut up. I had to tell her, like, you keep trying to pick a fight. When you listen, she kept arguing with me. I was going off. I was hitting the steering wheel. My eyes were big. I was mad. And she like, you scared me. I like, dude, like, what is wrong with you? Why are you trying to push me? She got a joy out of getting me that upset to see how far she could push me. And that's what happened to the girl I was dating. Any woman that I dated, they try to figure it out. And then when I go off and my eyes get big, and I start yelling at them, telling them to shut up and all that, then they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, dude, you keep trying to pick a fight. Like, why can't we just enjoy ourselves? I always ask every woman I dated, because I never had a girlfriend. Most women that I dated, I was trying to date, they just had so much on their baggage, so much baggage on their plate. They had so much going on where I just wasn't, trying to wife them or be close to them. I meet women who had kids. That was always my hardest thing, when a woman had kids, dealing with a baby dad. I don't want to deal with that man and his children, so I always kind of pulled away. So when I met my ex-wife, of course, she didn't have the baby dad around. She kind of gave me the whole spiel, and he was this and that. And then as I started watching her, and once we got married, oh man, I seen the real person. And everything, the reason why she was fighting this man, I see why, because she used to try to provoke me to fight her. And like I said, I don't argue with women. So the second time I had to argue with her, I just got her a plane ticket. I said, I can't do this no more. Like, and then, she would she would just try to, hit me, get in my face, tell me hit her, and, hit me. I wish you would hit me, because she liked to fight. And she said she had to fight all her boyfriends. That was too much. Like, I learned that after we got married. So it's like, so me going overseas, I'm not tripping on it, man. Like, I don't want to argue with nobody. I haven't argued with no women overseas ever. Even recently, since I've been going back over to Now, but lately I've been going to Central and South America, which I never did. That's been cool. I don't argue. Women don't pick fights. They just don't. You talk to them, even with I did with one Colombian chick when I was in Panama. She was like, not really arguing. She didn't really argue. She just always wanted to go to the mall and shop and buy bags. And she wanted me to buy her bags and go to the coach store. I'm not doing all that. You're not my woman. I can tell her you're not my woman. What do you deserve for me to take you there? I'm getting to know you. And she's like, well, I just like these things, but I'm not your man. So I do that kind of stuff for when you're my woman. Like if you show me that you're down for me, yeah, then I'll do things for you. I'll buy gifts, but sticking out the gate, because I'm an American and I'm there, I gotta buy stuff for you. So she was one of the women that was on that, and I'm just not with that. I'm like, dude, I don't have to be with you on nothing like that, because one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna buy no gift to win you over. If you don't like me for me, I told her, you don't like me, forget about it. And she got mad because I wouldn't have sex with her. And we hung out a lot, but I was like, dude, why would I have sex with you? Because the minute I put it in, you're gonna expect me to do everything for you. See, I'm a man, I got a mind. And one thing you're not gonna do is trap me into something. She was a gold digger. She admitted it. She liked nice stuff. But I'm like, if you were my woman and we rocked together and we was a couple and we was doing things together and you actually officially my woman, yeah. You want to go get something, get a bag or something, if you're showing me you're dedicated, but if you think I'm just going to come out here and trick on you because you're cute, you got it all messed up. Like, I never seen my dad go broke to get my mom a bag. I never seen my dad go broke to do anything for my mom but pay the house note, go out there and work his butt off, to get things going. I seen my dad do that. But as far as like, I was brought up in a two-parent home, and my parents were a team. Like, they worked together. They had their little problems sometimes. They argue, whatever. But I don't know how, I couldn't have dealt with that. My mom was a very vocal woman. I'm not really into vocal women like that. But hey, that's what they went through. That was their relationship, and I respected it because I was a kid. They were adult, and that's how they did it. Me personally, I don't want to deal with nothing like that. So whenever I dealt with a woman, if she wants to argue with me, I'll walk off. I'll walk away. And so I haven't, I just want to be, like I said, now I'm older, man. I've been like, even when I was younger, man, I was always serious about relationships. I never wanted to be single. But women, I've even talked to women that I knew from back in the days, and I started, talking to them. If I see bad communication, if I have to call you or text you, it takes you 2-3 days to get back to me, I'm not dealing with you. If you can't answer to me in a certain time frame, yeah, I'm not going to deal with you. One thing I will say about South America, Central America, any women that I stayed in contact with, if I call them or text them, they don't take long to get back to you. Even it's temperature check. Hey, how you doing? Just to be friendly. And they'll be, hey, AJ, what's up? They'll hit me right back. Let me know. They got my attention. They see I contacted them. But yeah, I don't argue with women, and I believe in peace and happiness. I believe in enjoying life. Have any of y'all black women ever experienced that? Have you ever experienced just somebody just going on a vacation with somebody and enjoying that person's time and just being happy, just going through a time where you can say, you know what, I had a good time with this person? Because it's all about the memories to me. I don't want to leave this. I want to leave this world with memories. If I leave before you leave, and we're together, I'd rather us have good memories than have bad memories. And so that's why I believe in getting along and having fun, because when everybody got to go one day, and when you leave out of here, one thing I want to do for myself, or I want to be remembered by somebody who was full of joy and happiness. Because I traveled alone by myself because women I dated, same thing, they didn't want to travel with me. So I traveled alone, and if I had to travel alone with them, I broke up with them. Like, I never had a woman break up with me because I'm in control. And if you don't go by what I want to do, because I'll compromise with them. If they want to do something, I always would do, okay, where you want to go, I will always compromise for them. But if they can't compromise for me, I'm not dating them. Bottom line, man, that's not going to happen. So if y'all like my video, please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Hit the notification button so you can be notified when I do another video. It's your boy, AJ the Black World Traveler, and I am out.